Today, the story involves a 15-year-old boy who has an accident on his moped. I'm going to dive into his story. Stay tuned. It was a beautiful spring day for Farrell Chu and her family. That morning, her 15-year-old son, Aaron, was leaving on his moped to go visit a friend. She remembers waving goodbye as he drives off. But in the following 10 minutes, she nor the rest of their family, Aaron included, had no idea that their family would be shaken. Shortly after Aaron left home, he was coming upon an area that led into a public garden, and it just so happened there was a van that pulled in front of him and ends up stopping on a whim. The van was trying to pull into that garden entrance. Being 15, Aaron didn't catch it in time, and he ends up running full force into the back of that van. He flew over the handlebars, and when he landed, he did break both legs. He lay unconscious, but thankfully, EMTs got to him pretty quick and rushed him off to the nearest ER. He had severe head trauma, so once he got there, they had to rush Aaron into surgery immediately. Now, his mother, Farrell, she didn't learn of the accident until 3 hours after the fact. She was at home cooking dinner when she received a phone call. And it was one of Aaron's buddies who'd heard through the grapevine of a possible accident with Aaron involved. Immediately, Farrell's husband, Larry, gets on the phone and begins calling hospitals to try to find out where their son was. Thankfully, on the second call, he got the correct one. Both parents rushed up to the ER, and a neurosurgeon met them to speak about their son's condition. And he told them that only 50% of patients actually survive the same type of injury that Aaron had. Farrell remembers it well because she remembers a certain doctor being quite blunt, matter of fact, not really having a good bedside manner. While Aaron was in surgery, he did have to have several blood infusions. In addition, he had a probe that was inserted into his skull, and that was in order to relieve the pressure inside of his brain. The staff looked over Aaron quite closely because there was a good chance that if things went south, Aaron would need more surgery. He also had a compound fracture on his left thigh, and due to that, he had to be placed in traction. Also, his kidneys, both of them, were pretty badly bruised. He lay in the ICU for 5 days unconscious, and during that time, there were a lot of family, friends, and church members. They would come and pray vigilantly by Aaron's side. And it was great to have those prayer warrior type people there because there were times his own parents just felt like giving up. They were exhausted and just saddened by the whole thing. But these people, these warriors that prayed all the time, they really knew how to encourage the family, lift them up, and just not allow them to give up. So during that time, they prayed for healing and that God would spare Aaron's life. One day, his mother, Farrell, goes into a dark, secluded room there within the ICU, and she just needed a moment to herself and to really just talk with God. And she breaks down and she just starts talking to him. She felt defeated, like there was nothing she could do. But nonetheless, she spoke with God. And in that moment, she remembers telling God that if it was Aaron's time, that please God, receive him. After about 11 days in the ICU, Aaron took a turn, and for the better. He actually began to heal, and he started healing quite fast. By day 30, he was already home. Now, there were several months of rehab, physical therapy, so that was a trying time, but despite that, each week that went on, each day, he improved by miles. And it really did show the doctors that they were wrong about Aaron and the outcome. When it came time for Aaron's last doctor visit, his mother remembers his doctor confessing, quote, "It wasn't medicine that healed your son." Now here is an amazing part about Aaron's healing testimony. He didn't just survive. But his mind and his body were made completely whole. You have to remember that he had severe brain trauma. The accident in no way left him impaired, didn't affect the way he talked, walked, none of it. Now, he did have to have a metal rod placed into his left leg, but even at that, you would think, oh, that might leave him with a little bit of a limp or something, but no, it didn't. His mother says he walks completely normal. You really wouldn't ever realize that he had an accident on a moped at 15. And as the time of the writing of this story, Aaron was living normally, no effects, and he was working as a carpenter. His mother Farrell says that she will never forget how God heard their prayers and answered them. A quote from her at the end, she says, "My job was and is to allow His word to confront my fears and hold me close through the deepest of valleys as He lives in me and leads me on." But what a story. It's not one you hear too many times of somebody having severe head trauma and coming out unscathed like that. So what an incredible testimony and healing journey. I hope it blessed you guys to hear it. Thank you for watching, and I am going to see you guys for the next story.